Hello everyone and welcome. So I'll show you how to implement subscription payments into your React Flask application. The base code we currently have here is the one from the previous video on how to implement single Stripe payments into your application. So starting off, obviously, let's open the docs and then go to subscriptions and follow the guide basically. So create a subscription plan. For that, we'll go to dashboard, billing, and then products. So the first thing we need to do is create a product that people can subscribe to. So I'll name it test product, test product. Obviously, you could make all these more descriptive than you should in your real application. The nickname will be test. ID will I'll let them also generate that. You can choose like a metric usage, so they can be charged per like amount used of a product, but we'll just do it like a set amount each month. Then you can choose the currency. I'll choose euros, but you can obviously choose dollars. There's more options here. I'll just make it as simple as possible. So per unit, we'll charge it like 50 on a monthly basis. And that's it. So a customer that subscribes to this will be charged 50 euros monthly at the beginning of each month. Not each month, but like at the beginning of each period. So if they get charged on the 15th, they'll be charged on the 15th of every month. And that's it. We have our plan, our pricing plan, and our product. Let's go to the next step, which is setting up Stripe, which we have already done. But we need to set up a payment method. So I'll copy this handle submit function and I'll name it handle submit pay. Handle submit pay is already there. I'll name it handle submit sub because we are going to use it to submit subscriptions. We won't be needing this part. Create payment intent. Another thing they don't really put in here is that you need to give it a card type. If you don't, it will error out. And then the email will be the email. And that's about it. Now this Stripe payment method handler is here. I won't be separating this into a separate function because I want to. So I won't be doing that. Because it's a simple example. I will be changing this here though. So I'll copy this because the code is going to be, the body of the request is going to be the same. So here what we want to do is say const response equals await axios.post. So we're sending a post request to http://localhost 5000/sub. That's going to be our route, and then we want to pass in like a payload. I'll define it up here. So const payload is going to equal this object, and then I'll change the email to be the email. So here we create a payment method, which is of type card. We add the card, and to the billing details we add the email. If everything goes well and the payment method is created, we want to actually console.log result error message actually if there is an issue. Why did this fail to compile? Just give it a sec. Oh yeah, I didn't close this. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we pass the email and the payment method, and then this makes a post request if everything goes fine. From the post request, what we want to do. Back to the backend code. I just want to finish the front end code. So I want to copy this part right here, and I'll explain. And well, actually, I'll copy this and I'll explain it then. So we want to define these two from response and then data. We'll send them from the server, and then we want to add a check. So if the status equals require action, we want to copy this part actually, and then else if it's not, we would just want to console.log hey, yeah, you got that sub money, right? So let me explain this part. So when we send the payment method and the email to the server, we will process this and create a subscription that will start that month. We will send back the client secret and the status of this subscription. If the status of this subscription equals to requires actions, that means something went wrong, insufficient funds, card expired, like you can see that here. If that is the case, what we want to do is actually find out what happened. That's why we have this confirm card payment, and then the error will be console.log result.error.message, right? And then it will display this error message of what is going wrong. At that point, that means something went wrong. If nothing went wrong, this status will not be requires action. That means it will just go down here, and then it will say, hell yeah, you got the money from the subscription. I just need to check because I don't think I closed. Yeah, I need to give it another. Yeah, okay, no, it's fine. Okay. I don't want it to be camel case. I will disable ESLint for this line. Or, yeah. And then down here, we want to put on click handle submit sub. Okay. So now let's go to the backend and actually create this sub route. So the backend right here. Okay. Let's space this out a little bit. So app route and then /sub and then methods post, and then we want to define sub. Okay. So what we want to do is get the email, and we want to get the payment method. So copy this, just change it to payment method. I'll copy this as well and just say if there's no email, return there is no email. If there is no payment method, return there is no payment method. Or like you need to send a payment method. So the next thing we want to do is go back a few steps. Is create the customer. So let's copy this code. I mean, I can copy the comment as well. Right here. Boom. And then boom. So the payment method is going to equal the payment method. The default payment method is going to be that same thing. And then the email is going to be the email. The reason we define a default payment method is because when a subscription is created, the first charge is sent automatically. So like as soon as it is created, it tries to charge the user for the first month. If there is no default payment method, that's always going to fail. So that's why we attach a default payment method. So the subscription knows what thing to charge on. And then what we want to do is create the subscription. So do that like right here. Boom, boom. Go back one. The customer is going to be customer ID. And then the plan, we have that right here. Let's copy that. Okay. And then that should be it for creating the subscription. Now, we still need to return the status in the client secret and the status of the subscription. So let's do that here. Let's define status, which is going to equal subscription, and then it's going to be subscription, then latest invoice, and then payment intent, and then status. I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe this is what it's going to equal. Let me just check here. I'm just gonna check the docs. While that's opening, I'll also do the I forgot what I called it. It's called client secret. Yeah. So client secret is gonna equal subscription latest payment intent client secret. Whatever. Let's just print status here and then client secret. And then what we want to do is check. So if no, we don't actually need to check anything. What we want to do here is return an object /dictionary with the status of status and a client secret of client secret. Just this needs to be like that, and then I'll remove this from status and put it like that. And then also it's gonna be 200. So let's Flask start. Okay, so if we now send a request as test@test.com and then say 42424242222222, clear this and send a subscription. Hell yeah, you got the sub money. Yeah, I got it correctly. So it succeeded. The status is succeeded, and then the payment client ID is this. But because the status is succeeded, we don't need to worry about anything. And then if we go to the actual subscriptions page, we have a test@.com, and then it has test product, and he paid $50, and he's gonna pay 50 every month. From now on, we can also see in invoices that he is paying, and it is working. Okay, so that part works. So subscriptions work. What we want to do now is check what happens if a subscription fails, right? So for that, we're gonna intentionally fail a subscription, which is we're gonna use this. So if I refresh this, type in like, and then type in this, and then we click subscription, it's gonna fail. Now it's gonna ask for authentication. Let's do that. But it still should fail. Your card has issued insufficient funds. The thing now though is, this still creates a subscription, as you can see right here. If we do change the card, the issue we will have right now is that this will pay a subscription, but it will create a new subscription. So if I refresh this, now there's going to be 2 of these. Now this is fine. You could just add a webhook, which we will do a bit later, so that this will affect the same user. But if you want to actually like pay this specific subscription, I'll show you how to do that real quick. So what we are going to use is the confirm card payment method from this page. Okay, so I'll copy. Well, I won't copy that yet. Okay, so on the front end, what we want to do is, if there is an issue, so if we just go in here, if it requires actions, what we want to do is add 2 things to the state. I'll just do it like this because everything is in one component. Obviously, you'll do this a lot cleaner and nicer in your own application. So I'll add the status, and I will add the payment. The payment. What is it called? The client secret. This might not be the best way to do this. Just saying. So this is just like an example of how you can solve that issue. So set status and then set client secret. So what we want to do here is, if there is an issue, if action is required, what I want to do is set status to status, and then set the client secret to client secret. Okay. So I set those 2. Then what I'll do up here is say if status does not equal empty string, else. So if there is a status, if it has been set, which means there's some issue that happened, then go in here. If there is, go in here. If there is no issue, just do the normal thing. So what we want to do then is go here and then copy this code, and then go in here and then boom, paste it. Okay, so let's fix all these indent problems. Okay, so we want to do elements get card element, obviously. We don't want name, we want email. Oh. Email to be the email. and then confirm payment method. Is there anything else that's required? I don't believe so. Oh yeah, the client secret. We have that in the state now. So payment intent client secret. We want to put that right here. And then if this, we want to await this. We say const result. If the result is, we can just copy this part. So if there is an issue with the result again, we can paste it in there. If there is no issue, we can console.log. Hey, yeah, you got the sub money. Okay. So let's also fix this. Okay. That's done. So let's go back to the dashboard, refresh this, and this has been refreshed here. So, okay. I'll create a new subscription under the email of failedsub@failedsub.com, and then I'll use the failing card. So, and then I'll put all the 2s in there. I'll click subscribe. That should fail with insufficient funds after I authenticate it. So let's go. Your card had insufficient funds. So that will create a new subscription. Yep. So now if we put in the correct card that will succeed, that has money on it or whatever, it won't create a new subscription like it did last time. It will complete this one. Obviously you have 23 hours to complete this and it will also fail, but let's say the user has 2 cards. One is like, has $10, the other has 50. So on this one, it should succeed. So if we click subscription, hell yeah, you got the sub money. If we refresh, we paid for this one. And also for this subscription specifically, we can check that the payment method, like you can see the whole timeline where it failed and then worked. But if we go to this customer, it will add the other card. So he will have 2 cards. This one, which will be the default one, which is the failed one. And then this one that succeeded, which is not the default one, he also has. So another thing you could do is if this payment succeeds and this fails, you can ask them, do you want to set this card as your new default card? Because it works when you try to bill it, stuff like that. But yeah, that's a very simple setup for subscription payments. And also this setup allows you to have your users pay for the subscription even if it fails initially. So maybe they have a few cards, maybe they need to put money on it. So someone registers on your website and uses it for free for like a month, and they say, I want to pay a subscription now. So then they'll pay a subscription, and then the next month the subscription fails. And then they have 24 hours to pay this subscription. What they can do is go to the bank and then put money on their card, and then they'll go through the same process, but because of this part, they will be able to pay for that subscription, and they won't need to create a new one, and everything's going to work fine. I'll take a bit of a break, and then I'll show you how to add webhooks to all of this, so you can use those as well. Okay, so we're back. This is the webhook I have set up. So the only event we need, I'll use, is the invoice payment succeed method, which will be triggered every time an invoice payment succeeds, as in every time the subscription is paid. So every time this gets paid. So what we want to do is, let me go back and copy that. Go to webhooks, open the webhook, copy invoice payment succeeded, go to our backend. So right here, we want to add another case. Also, what I want to do right here, what you should do right here is for your user. So we currently have the user info object. What you want to do is set the client or the customer ID to equal the customer and then ID, and then also we want to set the email to equal email. Obviously you wouldn't be doing this with a single object or dictionary that is like right there. You would using like a database where you would update your actual user. And then if the payment is successful, which we will obviously get down here. So if this equals invoice payment succeeded, what we want to do here is go to events and then data, then object, and then we don't have recipient email in these cases. I think we have email is going to be customer email, and then the ID, customer ID is going to equal the object and then customer ID. And then what I want to do here, I'll just print these two, but I'll also set so user info, and then we'll say like, let's say paid. Oh, here you could do a few things. Obviously in your database you could say subscription paid true, and then you could set another webhook that would be triggered. So invoice payment failed, or it's actually charge failed depending on the subscription. And then if that gets triggered, and then you find the user, and then you can make it so like subscription active false. Option 2 is you can set dates, so you could take the current date, add 30 days, and say like this is the new end date. So every time it gets paid, it will take the current date and then give it 30 days. And then when a user logs in, you can check if the date is in the future or not. I'll just do paid true because it's simpler. And then I will print the email and the customer ID right here. And then save that. Let's restart the application. So if we do test at blue data, and then we want to get like the test card that works. So this one, and then we put 2, click subscribe. Hell yeah, you got the money. Key error. Customer ID. Is there no customer ID? Okay. I mean, this is a bit weird, but I'll check one pending hook. So let's see what the actual thing looks like. So it has an object. And then it has customer. Oh, it's not customer ID, it's just customer. My bad. So this is supposed to be just customer. Let's restart this. Is there anything else you could use here? No, customer email. Is that correctly spelled? Yeah, it is. And then this contains the customer ID. You would probably use these two to actually find the customer in your database. That's why I'm not using it for anything else. So let's actually see if this will work now. So if I add test 2 and I click subscribe, get number 2 there, and then did the webhook work? Yep, it got those 2. And now if we go to the webhooks page, go to webhooks, the webhook did succeed. So the payment intent, invoice payment succeeded did work. And then if we go to localhost 5000/user, we have paid true. And that's about it. You got the webhooks, you got the subscriptions done, and you also have error handling. So if a subscription does fail, the user can go back into their account and then pay. Obviously, if you want to keep this for longer, like the client secret and stuff, what you could do is make a route that would fetch the client secret for a specific payment, or you could put this in like the user's in like a table where the user's info is, and it could be there for like 24 hours because that's how long they have to pay this, and then you could have it available at any time. So if the user logs out or leaves or whatever. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something new. Goodbye.